Welcome to Inventor's Dojo. My name is Henry and I'm an inventor. This video is part of a series where I am sharing my journey of making my invention, then selling it. We've all heard about how frustrating it is to do this, and I'm doing it on an extremely low budget, while still working full-time to support my growing family and without formal education. To really understand this video, it is very helpful to watch the previous ones by clicking the link in the description. Having said all of that, welcome, and this is everything I've learned.
Welcome. As some of you may know, I am on a mission to create and sell my product, which is the easiest and most efficient tool to get your car out of sand, mud, snow, or ice. In the process, I've had to learn a lot of things quickly. After trying many different methods, I finally figured out what it takes to learn things in a fast way. And this method works for me each and every time. Watch the video to the end so you can see an example of how this method helped me learn 3D design in 2 days. So here are the 2 things you need. 1, an immediate goal. You have to have a goal, not in the abstract sense. You can't say, well, my goal is to learn. It doesn't work that way. That is enough to get you to the starting line, but rarely to the finish line. Your goal has to be concrete and immediate. For example, if you want to learn to sew, you have to find a piece of clothing that needs to be sewn. It is that simple, that easy. Number 2, significance. Once you have your immediate goal, you need to attach something that has significance to you. To continue our example, you would find your old favorite pair of jeans that needs to be repaired. Whatever will get you going and moving, use it. Look at it this way. Your goal is your vehicle, and significance is the fuel that you need to get it going. So, the more significance you attach to it, the more likely you are to get to the finish line to complete your task. If this doesn't work, then you A, don't care about learning the skill, or 2, you don't care about the item, which is fine. At least now you know that it is not that important to you. One of the most useful skills that you can learn in life is to learn to recognize when you don't care about something. It will save you a lot of time. In the last video, I talked about how I started 3D printing on Makerspace with the help of my new friend. But I still had to deal with failing prints and problems with the design. Alan, being the great guy that he is, helped me figure out some of the issues with the original design. Even though he was a beginner with 3D design himself, this guy is a learning beast. He figured it out and we printed it. But again, there were other issues, and as great as he is, in reality, I just didn't want to consume any more of his time. For years, 3D design eluded me. I tried several different times, but it never quite clicked, you know? But with some encouragement from Alan, I downloaded 3D software again and got to work. First, I tried playing with the files that I had, but the reality is that they were far too advanced for me. I needed something simple. Well, I have an old car that I've been working on for some time. One of the most annoying problems with this car, to me, is that the door lock bezels always break off. More than 95% of those cars are all missing the bezels, and it's always for the same reason. Luckily for me, mine had the broken bezel stashed in the glove box, so I figured, great, this can be my immediate goal. It was simple and it had significance to me. So it provided me with everything I needed to get this done. After figuring out how a caliper works and how those measurements translated to the software, I started working with the tools that I had. About 6 hours later, I had something that was ready to be printed and tested. It was far from perfect, and I would have been shocked if it worked, but at this time I wanted something to compare to the original, something physical. And I needed to know if I was in the ballpark. So I drove to Makerspace so I could use their 3D printers. The print itself took about 5 hours, and it was late in the day, so my only option was to set the printer, go home, and come back the next day. The next morning, I got to Makerspace, and there was my horrible print. After an hour of cleaning it up, it was done. The dimensions were accurate, and the part was usable. I wouldn't put the part in my car, but it could be worse. In the end, the goal was accomplished. I was finally comfortable enough to start playing around with the design of my prototype. Not bad for 2 days worth of work. I was finally getting to the point where I was independent enough to work at my own accelerated pace. With one exception, I was still dependent on the 3D printers from Makerspace. Obviously, the best option would be for me to buy my own 3D printer. And I did look into it. However, they are pricey, especially with the lethal combination of my very low budget and my sense of urgency. I really didn't know how I was gonna get past this little problem. Stay tuned for the next video and see how I managed to get myself out of this little pickle. Thank you so much for joining us today. I really do appreciate it. Please subscribe so you can get updates on this crazy little journey. And don't forget to share this video with someone who you feel might enjoy it. Also, if you have any questions, please leave them in the comments. Thank you so much, and I'll see you next time. Stopping video. Oh, this is not recording. Ah, you mother. And this is gonna suck if I have to redo this whole